All right, good morning, guys. Today, well, not good morning, it could be good afternoon, depending on what period I have you, but good day. Today we're doing our notes over equations of circles. Okay, so this is still going to go in the circle unit. The really important thing, I'm just going to read through this, and then I'm going to go do these examples, do these ones here, and then there's a few more on the back. All right, if you have a printer, I will print this out. If not, you do need to copy this down. This stuff is very important. So unfortunately, it's going to be a lot to copy if you do not own a printer, but you do need to copy it down because you need to know how to do these. All right, a circle in the coordinate plane is represented by an equation. The figure is a circle with a radius of 5, so you can see it right here, and a center at 3, 4. The equation of the circle is parentheses x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. The general equation for any circle on the coordinate plane is parentheses x minus h squared plus parentheses y minus k squared equals r squared. And this could be on that formula chart I gave you, so this is really important. So if you want to highlight that or put a box around that if you're writing it out. And this is important here, where the center is hk and the radius is r. Okay, so we're going to write the equations. So write the equations of the circles whose center and radius are given. So that's all we're doing through 1 through 3. So first thing I would label is H, K, and then R. So then I'm going to go here, looking at the format, I know it's going to be X. Bring down the minus automatically. This is just a 2, so I can just plug that in there. Square plus parentheses Y. Bring down the minus, but I have a negative, so a negative and negative, that should be positive 2 equals, oh, don't forget the square, and then 6 times 6 is 36, okay, because it's R squared. Right, so I'm using this formula right here. Then I do the same thing here, label H, K, and then there's my R. I don't need to put R again, it's right there. So again, I don't need a parentheses on these ones because these are zeros, so I can just put x squared plus y squared equals, you want to square this, so do not put 10, it needs to be 10 times 10, which is 100. All right, and the last one, the same thing, you want to label it H, K, and this is your R. So this one, I'm going to do my parentheses. I'm looking up here, it says x minus, so I'm going to put x minus, oh, I have a negative, so positive 4. Make sure I square it, plus y minus, I have a negative, so that one's positive 2, square, and then I'm going to take square root of 5, and I'm going to square it. Okay, so square root of 5 times square root of 5 is just 5. And that's how you do those ones. This one I'm not going to go through. You guys can read this on your own, but this is saying sometimes a circle is given in general form. Sometimes they switch the word standard general, but then you want it to get it into this form right here. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to do something called completing the square. I did provide you this little handout on the second one of walking through completing the square. This is a method of factoring. You guys all should have done last year in Algebra 1. It is an Algebra 1 TEK. And so I'm just going to do these with completing the square. This is what you will have to do on the quiz, and you will have to show me all your work. So the thing is to remember on completing square, this special little rule here, b over 2 square, okay? And then we're going to be doing this by using completing the square. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is group all the x's together and the y's together and move your constant to the other side. So let's go ahead and group our stuff. So we got an x squared and we got a 4x. Okay, then I have a y squared and I got a 6y. Then this 8, which is my only constant, I'm going to move it over, so I change the sign, so that turns to negative 8. This is when you're going to use that b over 2. This is your b value right here. These are your b's. Okay, so in this one, I will take negative 4 over 2, square it. Let me divide it by 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared, so it's 4. Then I'll do the same thing here. This is my b values on the y. So I'm going to do negative 6 over 2. Make sure I square it. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Now this is where people sometimes get confused. You're going to bring down this part here, x squared minus 4, and then you bring this 4 here. okay? Then I do the same thing on this other one. Bring my plus, so then I'm going to have y squared minus 6y plus 9. So what you have to do is these two numbers here, they go in this spot, and then they also go at the end. So these two numbers have to go over here also. So they go over here. So then I'm going to have to put plus 4 and also plus 9. This is where a lot of students mess up. They forget to bring them over here. So those, you have to make sure they're over here. They're always going to be positive. Now these are super easy to factor. Okay? So all I need to do is this sign stays. So what I tell students is you just bring this down. So, and pretty much what you do is you square root the front and square root the last one. So that's just going to be x minus 2, because square root of 4 is 2. Again, square root the first, square root the last, bring in the sign that's in the middle. So this will be a minus 2. So this will be square root of y is just y, square root of 9 is just 3. And then here you just simplify this. So 9 plus 4 minus 8 is just 5. And that's your answer. So you can see it looks just like the format we saw earlier. And that's using completing the square. Okay, so it's a method of factoring. Not sure if you guys did that last year, but I'm going to do one more just to make sure you got it. And again, I have the steps here. It's kind of small, but I did have it, and you can look it up too if you want detailed steps. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm going to write that special little b over 2 because that's the one that you're going to be using all the time on the b value. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it so I can have room. Just put a line here so this stuff don't get in the way. All right. And so we can write our final answer up here on the line. I'm just putting it on the line up here. Okay, so let's do this one now. So we got x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 8y plus 9 equals 0. So again, you want to group all the stuff, the x's together, the y's together, and the constant moves to the other side. So I'm going to first, let's see, I got 1x squared. I have another x, so plus 6x. This is going to be my b. Then I have a y squared. Okay. Then I have a negative, oops, not plus. Then I have a negative 8y. And then this is my only constant. So I'm going to move that to the other side. So that will turn to negative 9, just like that. Okay, now we're going to take our b values. The b values are always on just the x or the y. So we're going to use this little rule. So you take the b value, which is 6 over 2, square it. So what is that? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So that number is going to be 9. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Negative 8 over 2, square. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So these are the two numbers that we're going to put in two spots. Okay, so you remember we're bringing this down, and then that 9 goes here. Then I'm going to bring this down, and then that 16 goes here. I'm going to put parentheses around them so it kind of looks like we're ready to factor. And then these two numbers also have to go here. So don't forget, you're going to have two numbers here because you have two things here. So I'm going to do a plus 9, and they're always positive. Now to factor, these are super easy to factor. You know you're going to have your two parentheses. They're going to be square. And the sign that you have and on the B one, the one that just has X, these are the ones that you bring down. So this is going to be a plus, and this one's going to go down. This will be a minus. So that's how the easiest way to figure out your signs. Then if you just square root the first term and the last one, and you'll be good to go. So square root of x squared is just x. The square root of 9 is 3. Okay? And if I square root this one and square root that one, square root of y squared is just y. The square root of 16 is just 4. Combine this, negative 9 plus 16 is just 16. And that's all you do. And you get better at this with practice. Like some of you guys did do this last year. Some teachers did not teach it last year. But this is an Algebra 1 TEK. It's just another way of factoring. And you have to do it with completing the square. And I do need to see all your work. Okay? Especially when you take your quiz. I think there's like 4 problems like this on the quiz that you'll be taking. So, and it's going to be a paper quiz, so that you're going to just take upload your work so I can see it. All right. So let's do these last few. These ones aren't too hard. We're just going to be graphing. Okay, so I'm going to add some additional notes here for you. First thing is you want to plot the center first. So you always want to plot the center first. And then second, from center, you're going to go up or down. Ooh, I didn't put up. And then you're going to go either right or left. Okay? And that's how you got your, and that's the radius of the radius. Run out of room to write radius. It's down there. Okay. So let me just show you how to do it. So first thing you want to do is figure out your center. So here there is no parentheses. So my center has to be zeros. You remember how we did that one before where my center was 0, 0? So since there's nothing in parentheses here, my center is 0, 0, 0, sorry. And then here you take whatever this is and you square root it to get the R. So I square root 25, R turns out to be 5. All right, so then I'm going to plot the center because that's what it says to do first. Okay, and then from here, you're going to go, sorry, not or, it's up and down. Same thing here. Sorry, I don't know why I put or in. Okay, so you got to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to go 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 to the left. And then you just make your circle. Try to, when you try to curve it, don't make it look like a diamond. Oops. Too much. Just like that. I actually came out pretty good. All right, let's try another one. First thing you want to do is get your center. You remember? So, right center. Okay? So this one, since it's a positive 2, it has to be negative 2. Okay, so think about whatever the sign is going to be the opposite when you write it here. Okay? And then since this is a negative, this will be positive 1. Okay, so it's always the opposite. Then to get the radius, you just take the square root of that number. So what's the square root of 4? It's going to be 2. So same thing now, you're going to plot the center. So go to negative 2, 1, 2, 1. So from that point, I'm going to go 2 up, 2 down, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and then make your circle. Uh-oh. Try not to make it look like a, this was kind of looking like a diamond. Try to make it look like a circle. There you go. All right, let's do the last 2. Okay, look here, guys. No parentheses. So that means that has to be 0 for my center. And then I already said you do the opposite of whatever sign you see here. So that means that has to be negative 3. Take the square root of this one. Square root of 1 is still just 1. You can always put those in a calculator if you need to. And then we're just going to plot it. So again, let's go to 0, negative 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go, this is going to be a really teeny circle because I'm just going to go 1 up, 1 down, 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and then plot, circle. A little circle. And there we go. All right, one more and then we're done. All right, same thing, let's get that center. You're always going to just change whatever signs you see here. So since this is negative 1, this will be 1, and that's negative 1, that would also be 1. To get my radius, you take this and you square root it. So I'm going to square root that, and square root of 16 is just 4. All right, so we're going to plot 1, 1. And then from here, you're going to go 4 up, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to go 4 both directions. All right. Then you're just going to curve that. It's really easy. Oh, this one's not looking too good. Oh, I'm way off. Oh, my circle's not looking that great. Oh, well. All right, there we go. That's okay. And that's all you do. So make sure you get all these notes. If you have graphing paper, you could do these ones on graphing paper to make it easier to plot, or, you know, cut the graphing paper and stick it into your journal. But you do need all these notes. Again, here's a brief description on how to do completing the square in detail. This is something you guys do need to know how to do. There will be a few of these problems on the test. I mean, we're not going to have a test. It's just going to be a quiz. All right? So that's it. Make sure you get all these notes copied.